Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high. Get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, May 30th, Sunday, May 31st, for those of you across the pond and beyond. Welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm so glad you guys could join us this evening. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the week and have had an epic start to your weekend. My weekend's been pretty laid back. We had a nice monsoon rain today, so I spent a lot of time on the porch just soaking that in. It was amazing. But thanks again for joining us on one of our many outlets on Spreaker.com tonight live. That's where you can go to our chat room. Just look for We Are Paradox Media on Periscope, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Tumblr, YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, as well as Podcast Addict. So tonight I have a treat for all my guys and gals out there. Tonight we are having the Paradox Paranormal Forum, and that's where a group of us gets together and talks about everything under the paranormal umbrella and things affecting us in our lives today. We've had all kinds of craziness since COVID-19 started, and now with Mr. Floyd, that unfortunate event, now we have a bunch of people that have a lot of free time that are spending it not so wisely, but there's a lot of people out there really protesting and getting some good word out there, but there's others that are going above and beyond and really not making a good name for themselves. But tonight we have Weekday Host SleepyDave Davenport from the Time Slip Cafe. We have Miss Mea Savage, who's a psychic medium. She's now in lovely Colorado. We have Mr. Robert White from Australia. And we're waiting on Mr. Rick Kirkby to join us. He took a nap and he may have slept late. He's in the UK, so it's quite difficult, I guess, to be with us right now. But welcome, guys. Thanks so much for coming to hang out with me tonight.
Thank you.
Robot.
Everyone.
So on the break, or before we started, we actually started early as Mr. Kirkby requested, but I don't know, maybe we're having technical issues, but all the riots and stuff going on, and this episode with Mr. Floyd, Sleepy, I know you've been pretty hardcore on that. Can you fill us in?
Well, I just read a story that they're not charging him. He didn't die of asphyxiation and strangulation. It was, I'm trying to find it. It was a pre-existing conditions and other things. Though I don't know exactly what they are. I'm trying to pull up the story, but I'm having trouble because too many pop-ups. But that's all I'm going to say is if that cop will probably get charged with aggravated assault or battery or something like that, and he'll most likely walk, is going to be my guess. So watch out for more riots. They were rioting in Phoenix last night. I couldn't believe it. Actually, I could, but I was somewhat shocked. So hopefully we got Jack Mackerel here. Hopefully he'll talk about his out-of-body experience when he got in a car wreck. Yeah, which one he says. When he got in a car wreck back in 2006. And then his traumatic heart surgery. They gave him you got a cow valve in your heart now? Now he has it.
Does that mean he has a bigger heart?
Yeah, does that mean you have a bigger heart? Is that... she can talk. Does that mean you have a bigger heart? Tessa wanted to know.
Oh, that was Mea.
Oh, Mea wanted to know. He's got a big heart, Mea. You should meet him. You like this guy. He's great. No, I'm talking about Mea. Mea hasn't met you. Anyways, that's what's going on in my world. So hopefully he'll come on and talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, it'd definitely be awesome to hear for sure. And Robert over there, he doesn't have to deal with all the rioting and stuff, do you? Because it has nothing to do with your country.
Nothing like that down here, thankfully. Even though there is still some inequality between the races down here, but we just don't go to that extreme. There have been Aboriginals that die in custody, and when that happens, there's peaceful protests that don't evolve into what's been happening over there. So, yeah. And with the virus around as well, the way they're doing it over there, it's bound to be the start of the second wave of the virus.
Well, yeah. When I saw on the news today, like, so many people, I was like, geez, look at all the people out there. But, I mean, are they wearing masks? Do they not even care? A lot of people I've seen haven't been, but this was an out in the distance scene before I turned it off, you know, because I don't like the kids to see a lot of that. But they know the situation. They know what's going on. And because we are honest with them, but we like to fill our days with better things for them. But it was, according to my husband, Mr. Floyd had run-ins with this police officer in the past, and I guess he had a thing out for him. I heard today that they were going to charge him with third-degree murder and something else, but I can't remember what it was, but I remembered the third degree.
Well, some of the stories I had seen about
manslaughter.
They both worked together at the same club at some stage. So whether there was animosity between them from that, I don't know.
Suspicious.
Quite.
Indeed. Well, Mia,
I mean, I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, but...
Yeah. How long have you been back in Colorado?
Oh, it's been about 2 weeks, something like that. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. So you haven't seen the whole riot thing down in Phoenix. Sleepy, what exactly is going on? Like, where are they gathering, and is it pretty big numbers, or what exactly is happening down there? Sleepy, are you there? Can't hear you.
Who?
You. I was asking
I'm sorry.
About the riots down there, because you said they were rioting down there too. Like, where exactly is that happening? What are the numbers?
I think it's Central Phoenix. I only saw a clip, and it was. Do you know where they were rioting down in Central Phoenix? Where was that? At the Capitol building, 17th Avenue and Jefferson. Well, that doesn't really mean anything to the audience, but yeah, State Capitol. They were rioting apparently. I saw a few screenshots and some video from it earlier from a few people that put up news links on Facebook. But I haven't driven down there myself to go check it out because it's not that far from me, actually.
So are they actually rioting, or are they just protesting?
I think there was pictures of stuff. Were they setting stuff on fire? Oh, yes. Yeah. Isn't it bad that we live here and we don't even know that? That's how much we don't watch the news, because it's the same. You know, they started doing it. What was it in wasn't San Francisco? It was Denver. It was San Jose, Minnesota, Houston, Detroit. So when things like this pop up to me. Well, I was telling Moon last night that they were busting these people in, and he thought I was crazy. And then he saw that they were actually busting people in to protest. Outside agitators is what they called them in the 60s.
For real? That's professional.
What's that?
That's a good band name, Outside Agitators.
Or the shopping cart thieves.
I could roll with that.
Toilet paper nappers.
Southside metalheads. How about the mattress tag police? That's right. The mattress tag police. No, but I should. I see, that's the thing. I could go drive down in Phoenix and all that, but it's... With the new monorail system down there, I haven't been down there since they built that. I haven't even seen it. So Forgive for the background noise, everybody, but we're all hanging out, partying, like I said.
No worries. Tell Miss Mel I said hello, and she needs to hurry up and be president so she could put the kibosh on all this.
Exactly. Right now, she's enjoying a popsicle and following Jack Mackerel around like a little puppy. It's cute.
She loves Jack Mackerel.
Mm-hmm. She was so excited when he showed up. So, but let's go on. Enough about what's going on here. Let's. When do you want to?
Well, I was about to say, since we're going into the paranormal, we can go ahead and listen to Jack's story of having his out-of-body experience.
Yeah. Let me get him over here. Hey, Dan. Jack, put this on and talk to Tessa. Tell her about your out-of-body and your whole car accident, your whole shamil. Come here, sit down, have a seat, stay a while. Seriously.
Which out-of-body experience?
Both of them. I don't have.
What do you mean both?
Here, have a seat.
I've been dead 6 freaking times.
All right, I'll tell. You have to sit here because it doesn't go this far.
I'm just gonna yell and they're gonna hear.
Can you hear him? Okay.
Scoot your chair closer.
I cannot scoot it because I am confined.
I'm gonna yell. Go get a kitchen chair. I'm not gonna.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
All right.
Robert said kinda.
Robert said kind of. You're going to have to move closer, please.
Don't be afraid.
We don't bite
We won't
hard.
bite.
Yeah, Dan.
Hard.
Here, can you put this on seriously? Well, come here. Can you talk? Can you sit right here and talk to me? Oh my God, he makes things difficult for me.
See, what do you mean make things difficult for me?
Because everybody's waiting to hear your story. So go ahead and you got to
Spent 17 days in intensive care.
Well, get your kid. Oh my God, he like, come on, Mr. Dramatic.
Yeah, it is drama. Yeah.
You can hold. How about you can hold the headset and speak into the microphone because I have to really use the bathroom. That's why I want you to sit. Oh my God, you're not going to forget it.
Not gonna yell?
No, just forget it. I just don't know why this has to be so fucking difficult. Excuse my language. Never mind. Go on to the next segment.
All right. What about you guys? Have you guys had any paranormal happenings or anything within the paranormal that you've been thinking about lately that you'd like to discuss within the forum?
Well, I've never actually, I was going to add on to this after hearing his story because I wanted to compare. I've had near-death experiences, but, one specific one, but I don't remember because I was young. I don't remember it. But it was my birth, so I don't remember. I was born dead for a certain amount of minutes. But one time I asked my guides about dying. I don't know. I think I had just had, this was about a year ago, about a year and a half ago. And I asked my guides and my deceased family members and so on what it was like to actually cross over and die. And don't ask that question to your guides because they showed me I was asleep and I had basically a simulated death where I left my body. And I see orbs 24/7. Where I see them is in the sky. And I see them all day, every day. For some reason, when, just all the time, I just don't focus on it, unless it's kind of like if I want to, I can kind of turn it off too, where I can just look at the sky, but just thousands of them all the time. And so basically, I was asleep. I astraled. I left my body. I quickly, almost shot up into the air. And I think that where I typically see the orbs at, which is just in the sky, but not as far up kind of as a plane, but I mean, they're all over that. I don't know. And what happened was I thought I had actually died. It was so it felt so real. And I looked down and I saw my mother and she was crying and I felt bad. I'm like, crap, am I dead? This sucks. How did this happen? Because obviously, I mean, when you astral, it's it's real, right? But one of my guides thought it would be fun, hey, let me show you what it's like to die. And I didn't actually feel emotion. I didn't want her to be sad. She was sad that I was dead, and I was like, I wanted to comfort her, but I didn't actually feel empathy as if we feel it, now, like, because you don't have a human mind, you don't have human hormones or, any of that stuff. Anyway, so basically I was looking upon her, and I was like, I didn't want her to be sad, and I felt like I should be sad, but I felt no pain and no emotion, not in the way that we have emotions as humans. And I was wondering, if he had crossed over, if he hit that point where it's like you can look down upon it without feeling emotions, from like a very like subject, like just being able to see yourself and be able to empathize with others, but not exactly feel those emotions. I don't know. But that's when I died, what it was like. And it actually gave me hope. Like there's a lot of people who are afraid of death, and that gave me comfort in death. As gothic as that sounds.
Well, like doing paranormal investigation and having paranormal experiences throughout life, I still fear death. I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die. But when I do, I'm not afraid to, because I know that there's something else there. Like, you don't just cease to exist. Your energy continues on. And there's so many different amazing stories of, what could be, what could happen. And it's kind of interesting to imagine those points. But just knowing there's something there other than being buried 6 foot under or kept in an urn or whatever.
Hey, Jack is ready whenever you are. I just didn't mean for that conundrum. He was nervous.
No worries.
Did you whip him into shape?
I'm not nervous. I got put in my place by an 8-year-old. Are you kidding me?
Better listen, Miss Mel.
Well, which event do you want? Twice with the car accident or 4 times with the heart problems?
Perhaps we should start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it November 21st, 2006? I was driving a coworker home from work. We had stayed late to put up all the Christmas decorations. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I'm driving him home, and all of a sudden, we got hit head on from the other direction. Was a teenager in a fast car. Driving the other direction, and he was drag racing. And he lost control and came over the center line, and I hit him directly in his front passenger wheel so hard that the entire rim and the letter A for Acura Integra was tattooed into the metal bumper of my small truck. The police it happened, now lucky me, happened right in front of a fire station, and I was wearing my work clothes, and I worked at a resort at the time, and the firefighters recognized my clothes because about 2 months earlier I put out a room fire at the resort. So they say, hey, we know where this guy works. Anyway, my coworker was unconscious, but they were able to open the passenger door and lift him right out. A paramedic sat in the truck with me. All the windows had exploded. There was another paramedic leaning in through what was left of the driver's side window, but I was crushed into the truck. They had to cut the truck apart to get me out of there. And had an airbag, had seatbelts, the whole bit, but the impact was so hard that it compressed the cab of the truck, and the steering wheel destroyed my intestines, both small and large, and I was bleeding out internally. And they put it in writing in the official police report that the driver of this small truck is not expected to survive.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good at all.
It wasn't. And I ended up in the hospital. And then 2 days later, It was Thanksgiving, and I was no longer able to breathe because in the accident I had crushed, my chest plate was broken, my skull was fractured, my nose was broken, the roof of my mouth was broken, both my upper and lower lip were split completely through. They had to stitch them from the inside. But when your chest breaks, it fills with fluid, and it filled with fluid so much that my lungs had no place to inflate. And so they had to put, it was real charming, a respirator down my throat, and they had to have a machine breathing for me. And how long did I spend like that? I think 5 days with that. And everybody from work was coming to see me because the word was I wasn't going to live. That was official. And thank God they didn't tell me that, because I am still here. But I can remember in the hospital when I stopped breathing. Very, very weird. It sounded like, and I don't know which one of my friends, it was a female friend, a female voice, but was calling me. Come on, Dan. Dan, don't go there. Don't go there. Stay here. So, very, very weird experience. Don't go there. Just stay with us. Because I was officially dying. So it was having friends around constantly in the hospital for 17 days that kept me oriented. Or else if it was just me by myself, I would have gone. I would have been done. So, but it was weird. I did not see God. I did not see Elvis. I did not see my deceased grandmother, but it was really strange. It was like I was stepping through a doorway, and my friend's voice kept saying, "No, you stay with us. You stay with us." Very weird. Not a real dramatic near-death experience, but it is one I will never forget. So that was Thanksgiving of 2006. So,
any questions?
Yeah, any questions? That's my near-death story. And I've met Tessa. She's seen me. She's talked to me.
I've given him hugs.
Yeah, so I'm still warm. But it was really very interesting. I didn't believe in paranormal before any of this. I didn't believe in life after death. But when your body is broken, and that's very interesting, because I knew when I was still in the truck. I knew when I was still in that crumpled truck. And the medics were there quickly, because it literally happened in front of the fire station. Literally on the street in front of the fire station. Had they have had to travel, if they would have had to travel 10 minutes in rush hour holiday traffic, I would have been dead. They came right out their door. But I didn't believe in afterlife or paranormal or anything like that. I don't know if the things I saw or felt were the effects of a dying body and someone who was bleeding out internally, because I never lost consciousness. I never lost consciousness. I was awake the whole time. I was screaming, couldn't really talk very well, but I was awake. I remember when the medic sat in on the passenger side. And they cut the driver's side door out. It was very interesting. But I don't know. My opinions have changed a little bit since this kind of an event. So, and then Tessa met me, what was it, 2.5 years ago?
No, it wasn't quite 2.5 years. I moved here, you met her about April, May. It's like May, wasn't it? May of 18? Did you come out in Arizona in May 18? To visit your mom and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
that's
been down
what-
there so
yeah.
much, but I met you guys that first time, and then I met Dan again
The second time,
when my
Right.
mom went on a cruise, was house sitting, and killed her
Okay.
friend's cat. Just kidding. I didn't really kill their cat,
That was
but they
the
say I
dog.
did.
No, the cat. Remember we went swimming and their friends accused her of killing the cat?
I thought it was the dog.
No, it wasn't a dog.
No, the dogs were perfectly healthy. Had all their meds.
Okay, and now I'm on meds now. But no.
Now I
the
need
second-
meds.
I don't blame you. Because now that first time, they declared for the truck accident, they declared that I was going to die. That was in their official report. And then in the hospital, 2 days later, I did stop breathing. Now for this last event, I'm in my middle 50s now, and I was working at a different resort, and I started to have a hard time breathing, real bad. Could not catch my breath. My friend took me to urgent care, and they said, let's do an x-ray. They said, gee, you have an enlarged heart. I looked at my friend and said, where did I catch this? And he said, don't know. Thanksgiving night, again, during Thanksgiving, this happens. Thanksgiving night was the last night I worked for, 2017. And then the day after Thanksgiving, I was admitted to the hospital, and they took some pictures of my heart, and I think they did a scope and said, gee, you have a bad heart valve. I said, how does that happen? And it turns out I was born with that. Had no clue, never smoked, never drank, but I was born with it. A heart valve has to have 3 chambers, kind of looks like a Mercedes-Benz symbol. I was born with only 2. And it started collapsing in my mid-50s. I was 54, just about to turn 55. And it was slowly collapsing. So they put a balloon. I was not eligible for open chest surgery because my heart was so enlarged. So they went up through the groin with a balloon. And
So he does have a large heart. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And they opened it with a balloon.
A big heart.
You're correct.
And imagine your calf muscle collapsing, and they put a balloon in it and open it up to stretch it. Yeah, you'll get the blood flowing through it, but there's really no muscle tone in there. And I have to make that analogy with the heart valve. Oh, God, I waited until March. First, my insurance canceled me after 90 days.
They tried killing him, by not, wait for the approval.
Yeah.
Too late.
My insurance is good for 90 days if you're off work, and I used it, and I remember during the last week my surgeon said, I'm having a problem with your insurance company, and you've got to go back and forth with them. On Friday morning, my insurance had expired on a Thursday, the last day of February. On Friday morning, I got a call from my surgeon's office, said, you have no insurance. You've been canceled. And so lucky for me, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know when. And I was able to get on state Medicaid, but then they had to do an emergency deal and get me a heart valve. And in this heart valve thing, I coded, my supervisor from work came to see me, and I coded in front of him. My heart stopped in front of him. My lady friend at the time was there to see me, and my heart stopped in front of her. Then they put the new heart valve in, and they stop your heart to put a new valve in, and then they restart it. My heart would not start for 50 minutes, which... So my heart would not start for 50 minutes, and they called my friend who was my medical power of attorney at the time. They called her 3 different times and said, can we do this to him to keep him alive? Yes, yes, yes. And finally she said, I'm just going to come down there. So they got me stabilized, and then an hour after the procedure, my heart stopped again. So that was 4. But I could not, my heart was not beating on its own for 50 minutes, 50. You know, they put you on machines to do, and when you're on that machine and it's pressing your heart for you, none of that is comfortable. None of these medical procedures are comfortable. So, yeah, I think I have a record. If cats have 9 lives, I have 3 left, I believe. So.
Use them wisely.
Yeah, he's a cat. He's a cool cat.
And I'm a cat person. I had a cat for 21 years. So, but that's the only thing I can figure why I'm still around. So, no, I'm around because really the very, very good medical technology and the people involved. But the one night that I wasn't feeling well, I called my friend at 3:30 in the morning. And I told her, I said, can you come and get me, take me to the hospital? And she said, why? I said, something in my body has changed and I'm going to die today. And she thought, well, okay. She came, took me to the hospital. What it was is my kidneys had shut down. And I could feel the pain, had no idea what it was. I spent 12 days in intensive care on a fluid-restricted diet with a catheter. Only allowed to drink ice chips out of a cup. And they limited that to 2 a day to let my kidneys come back to normal. So, yeah, it's been an interesting adventure. Dying is as messy as being born. It really is. I just had a friend that passed away. And he was my age, a couple years older, and he died in his home, and he lived alone. So now I'm being told, well, hey, you live alone, so you need to be careful and give the key to your house to other people. And, oh, this gets complicated. Boy, does it get complicated. It really does. I can see you guys nodding your head, both of you going, uh-huh, yeah. And it does. So,
yes. I've seen those shows on YouTube. The crime scene cleanups, and usually the people that live alone, it's they don't find them for too long, and then it's decomp, you know. I mean, that's gruesome. I'm sorry.
It is. No, it turns out that my friend was alone, had died instantly, apparently, but his body was there for about 9 days. So we had to call, there's some special companies out here that do death scene cleanup. They go move carpeting. If they have to remove drywall, they'll do all that. And they had to treat the concrete floor. So that's my near-death experiences, more than one. So, Tessa's heard them before, but, yeah, this is, and it has changed my point of view. As a person, as an older person, I'm not judgmental anymore. But when I was younger, I was very judgmental, but now it's like, let people what they want. The end's coming, and I know what it's like. Yeah. So, was that acceptable, Tessa?
Yeah, it's a different perspective for sure. And, you know, as far as you felt like there was a doorway there, you never really went through the doorway. I wonder what was on the other side.
Called back. I could hear my friends, come on, Dan, stay with us, stay here, stay, don't go anywhere. And it was because I had so many hospital visitors, I think, that hearing all these voices of people that I knew, I think that that kept me oriented, that gave me something to listen to. When a person is dying, your sense of hearing is one of the last to go. I don't remember seeing any of them in the hospital. I don't remember anybody touching me or holding my hand. Hospitals smell strange anyway. But the last thing I remember were those voices on both occasions. So your sense of hearing is your last to go. So this really becomes sci-fi almost, because, like I said, I'm back because it happened in the hospital. Very, very good medical treatment, instant medical treatment. And had it happened at home, when I told my friend that, hey, can you take me to the hospital? It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm going to die today. They told her 3 or 4 more hours alone, and she'd have found me dead on the couch. So it can get pretty close. And it gets, like I said, things that were important, I couldn't care less about. Money's important because you need it to pay bills. But, having friends pretty much from all walks of life makes a bigger difference, in my opinion. All the money in the world wouldn't have helped me other than to pay hospital bills.
Yeah.
That's it. And don't get me started on the insurance industry in this country, because, the insurance industry I'm not a fan of. So, but that's my experience. If anybody else can come up with one, I would love to hear it.
Hey, Jack, I also wanted to let you know, this last weekend we had our very first Paradox Crypto Forum, and I actually said a lot of that was thanks to you, and you're interested in it, and saying, there's so many other people that are into that. And then our friend Waylon brought it up again, and I was like, yeah, me and Jack had been talking about that, and we should totally do it. So if you're able or willing in the future, the next one I believe is this coming month on the 20th. You should totally come on to the Crypto Forum.
This for cryptozoology.
Mm-hmm.
Unknown animals.
Yes.
Okay, and I think you're in Colorado, we're in Arizona right now. I research this stuff a lot, and as much as I can on the internet, and I think that there are a lot of animals in these remote areas. In Colorado, in New Mexico, and Arizona, is it Colorado? I believe it is, or Utah. In the Navajo Nation is so large, it comes into 3 different states, and there are areas of the Navajo Nation where no vehicles have ever been, no wheeled motorized vehicles have ever been. There are areas up there that are so remote, very few people have been up there on horseback or on foot. There are, at least in the Southwest out here, there are some remote areas where you have very little activity at all from people. And we're talking since this country was established. So I think that there are some interesting animals out there. The ones that are supposedly the large birds that look like...
Thunder chickens. No, they're called thunderbirds.
They're called thunderbirds, but they look like... no, it looks like the turkey vulture, which is one of the largest, one of the vultures. But it looks like a vulture on steroids. It's almost looking at
it's a condor
house versus a Clydesdale, a regular horse versus a Clydesdale.
It's a California condor.
That's the one, the California condor. Thank you.
I'm an animal nerd, so.
Okay. There was a report years ago. Some fella very deep in to the Navajo Nation where he had seen or had heard reports of a bear with a tail. There haven't been bears with a tail out in this part of the world, part of the country, for about 13,000 years. There seems to be, in some of these remote areas, where extinctions did not occur. And again, most extinctions are based on human activity and human intervention. So, we have to keep an open mind to this. What
It was a
have you
chupacabra.
heard of? Pardon me?
I
Say
said
that
it could have been a chupacabra. I was just kidding. I don't know what it was, but I remember hearing this. The bear with the tail. I do remember hearing about that vaguely.
Yes. Now the chupacabra. I've heard so many different stories from Puerto Rico, where this originated supposedly 30 years ago, and it's more in some of the tropical areas. Although I've seen photos from a dash cam from a police cruiser in a rural area. You guys might have seen this one.
With the hairless gray dog thingy.
Right, and I'm wondering, was that a coyote? Was that a wolf?
To me, it looked like the Mexican. It's like a Mexican hairless wild dog that they done. Looked exactly like that. I'll have to look it up and show a picture.
Okay, because these animals do get mange, and you can look up, if you ever look up a chimpanzee with mange, you'll freak out. You'll say, what planet did that? And you can probably look that up right now. Look up a chimpanzee with mange. They're hairless. They look like real tough, angry-looking bodybuilders. They are really unusual animals when these... And if you look at a bear with mange, you kind of wonder what some of these animals really are. But I like the crypto. That is a lot more interesting a subject than when I'm going to die and stay dead. That's the crypto stuff is, well, it's really cool. Come on. Up in the Four Corners area, there's a lot of very remote places that very few people have been, that there's little access to. And you have seen the pictures of the giant bird. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now that looks like a regular dog, or is that a wolf or a coyote?
It's called, I was just going to type, it's called the Cholo, just kidding, it's called the Zolo, it's Xolo, and it's got a longer name, which I'm not going to try to pronounce right now.
Is it a wild dog, is it a wolf dog, or a coyote dog?
Most of the pictures I see them as pets, but I think they did begin as wild dogs. It's called a Zolo... Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Pretty creepy looking
chimpanzee
things.
with mange.
Yeah. Here's another one of a puppy that looks like closer to... because it has some hair and mostly not. But yeah, they do look like they have mange, but they're just naturally like this. They're super creepy looking, but people from Texas didn't recognize it because it's a Mexican breed.
Okay, across the border. Okay, so it's got to be still partly a wild animal.
Kind of hyena
but it does
looking.
occur in nature, because have you ever seen a Manx cat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're hairless cats, and they look very, very strange. But see if you can pull up a picture of a hairless chimpanzee.
I did. It's hilarious. And then next to all of these hairless chimpanzees, which do look like bodybuilders, there's one that is of Joe Rogan doing a yoga pose.
I'm not going to make any comments on that.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's what I was laughing at.
Yeah, he's a tough
I'll
dude.
post it in the comments. No, I love Joe Rogan. It's just funny.
But let's do the crypto show. And are we going to do it in the Southwest area, in the Four Corners area?
Oh, it's all over the place. Waylon's from Texas. Nikki's from Washington. We had Troy on last time, who's from Washington as well.
Washington State, right?
Yeah.
The Northwest?
Yes.
Oh, have you seen, and you can pull it up, it was by the U.S. federal government. It's called the Washington, if I have the wording right, Washington State Environmental Atlas. Look it up. Yeah, look at his biceps. Yeah. The Washington Environmental Atlas, and I may not have that wording correct. In 1974, federal government, and I can't remember which department, did an environmental study for something they were building, and they had to list alphabetically in this report all of the flora and fauna that was going to be affected by this project. And it's called the Washington State Environmental Atlas. I don't know if I have that wording correctly, but it lists Sasquatch as an official animal in the state of Washington. That is acknowledgement and affirmation by the federal government. I see both of you nodding your head. Are you looking that up?
I'm not looking up, but I've heard that before, and I've actually heard different people, not only from Washington State, but I believe Texas as well, different counties. There's laws against harassing or trying to shoot a Bigfoot.
Okay, in Texas there
or
are
Sasquatch.
county laws. There are county laws against shooting one, injuring one, even harassing one in Texas, which I find interesting because, you know, the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny are not protected under state law or federal law. But
what?
Yet, no, they're not. Technically, they're not. But in the state of Washington, there are Skamania County, Washington. Skamania County, it's a predominantly rural area. They have laws protecting Sasquatch. And again, in the Environmental Atlas for Washington, written by the federal government, under the letter S, he is listed as an official animal, as one of the animals in the state of Washington. Why don't people realize that's official acknowledgement? Now, what this animal is, I don't really know, but it has been categorized and declared by the federal government and by Washington state laws and by Texas state laws. How much more confirmation is needed? Yeah, so...
Well, even when they were having the fires in Washington State, and also I heard in California there were helicopters with nets that were taking Sasquatch bodies and such out that had, succumbed to the fires and such.
I have heard of that. I have not looked into that. I find it interesting that would be the only animal that received that type of rescue, okay, or the remains were removed. Because other animals died in those fires of every type up in the Northwest. So how do you rationalize that? How do you justify it?
A large humanoid body?
Yeah. With lots of hair and doesn't wear shoes. Okay? Out in the woods. I would like any of your listeners to comment on these cryptids, because I do think there are large birds. I do think that some level of large primate. I don't know exactly what they are. And I think in the tropical areas, at least in Puerto Rico, there are some bizarre carnivorous animals that whatever the chupacabra is or is not, it could be one of those. So, but I think that this is more realistic because there does seem to be some level of denial. You can't talk about it on. There was a patrol officer for the state, and I don't recall if it was for Oregon or Washington, but he said that he had been driving in a remote area, and one of these things crossed the road. What about in Georgia, where the officer and someone else in his patrol car, the thing crossed that road, that 2-lane county road, in 4 paces. You know which one I'm talking about, Tessa?
Yeah, he had like a female person with him, and they were driving along.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it crossed in like 3 or 4 steps.
4
Very quickly.
paces it crossed, and for whatever reason, it was 2 a.m, and he was wearing a brown furry suit, which I don't know where you'd get one like that. They pulled over, and he went out looking, and he drew his gun and his flashlight and went to the side of the road and looked. So I like dash cams, and I like law enforcement encounters of unusual things. Okay? Cameras don't lie, and the police are told not to talk about unusual or strange encounters.
Nikki in the chat room was saying if you go to the surplus store, buy military map Washington State for the animals you are being warned about, and she said Sasquatch is also on there. But on that note, you guys, we do have to go to our first musical break. And on this break, we have Canadian phenom Michaelan Hay from Ontario, Canada, with Pins and Needles. And then Tracy Cruz from California. I'm trying to remember. From Oakland, California, with Flowers and Kitty and Joyful Rain. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this musical break.
Okay.
Talking on pins and needles, every word through a microscope. You keep stomping down on the ground while I've been stuck on this tightrope. I just wanna say what I wanna say without your sentence. I'm not willing to do the time when I'm innocent, and I'm innocent. Talking on pins and needles. Talking on pins and needles. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. Walked on my share of thin ice with your blowtorch at my feet. You won't ever see me beg, so take this tongue off your leash. I'm gonna say what I wanna say, don't need permission. Interpret it how you want, it's my decision. Talking on pins and needles. Talking on pins and needles. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, Safety has been broken, this is now a hunting ground. Talking on pins and needles. Talking on pins and needles. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, hang it up, hang it up. And I'm done, and I'm done, and I'm done, done, done. I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, talking about I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, talking about I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, talking about I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up, I'm gonna hang it up.
When I met you, my life changed. Your love rained all over me. It was blissful, so special, essential. Life poetry, true beauty. We created, we made it. Reality, pure affection with expression. Our connection was meant to be. You make me feel so good inside, like therapy for my mind. You make me feel so good inside. It was like flowers and candy, understanding how you're standing really must be love. I'm talking true, I'm talking real, and I felt it in my heart. It was like flowers and candy, understanding how you're standing really must be love. I'm talking true, I'm talking real, and I felt it in my heart and soul. You make me feel so good inside. You make me feel so good inside.
Now what is this that's happening? I don't even know you anymore. Oh, yeah. Changes moving through everything. Yeah. And I don't even know what we're fighting for.
Our bright days turn to sleepless nights. Our loving ways have turned to endless fights, and we can't seem to compromise. We try so hard to make things right. Yesterday, we'll erase soul and wash away all the pain.
You wash every part.
Your love lifts higher than all of the stars in the sky.
So high.
I may not wish on you to be by my side. You loving me, I feel like flying. You loving me, I feel like crying. Tears of joy fall from the sky to make us smile. Your love outshines all the rays of the morning light.
It's so bright.
I'm so blinded by your love that glows inside.
You always shine.
Your love is deeper than all of the roots of the trees.
It's so deep.
Thank you for planting your heart right next to me. You loving me, I feel like flying. You loving me, I feel like crying. Tears of joy fall from the sky to make us smile. Can make us smile. Can make us smile. I feel like flying. You loving me, like flying, like crying. Tears of joy fall from the sky to make us smile. Let your love rain down on me. We will grow so tall and free. I will shade all the pain that life will bring. Our love can weather anything. You loving me, I feel like flying. You loving me,
I feel like crying.
tears of joy fall from the sky to make us smile. You loving me, I feel like flying. You loving me, I feel like crying. Tears of joy fall from the sky to make us smile. To make us smile. To make us smile. I feel like crying. You loving me, I feel like crying. Tears of joy, smile to make me smile a million times. You loving me, I can't describe your love. I can't describe your love. It makes me smile. You make love worthwhile.
Now I can see how much your love has affected me. Everything you do makes me smile.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Paradox Paranormal Forum. Tonight we have weekday host SleepyDave Davenport from Time Slip Cafe. We have psychic medium Mea Savage from Colorful, Colorado, and psychic healer Robert White from Australia, and still trying to get a hold of Mr. Kirkby. You guys, welcome back, and thanks for hanging out tonight.
Okay.
Thank you for being on my show. We were talking about that earlier. Me's like, you just need to do that
Thank
during
you
the show.
kindly.
Thank you kindly. I kindly reckon the show is off the rails. Or off its rocker. I haven't decided.
It's more useless than tits on a boar hog. I know.
Ain't nobody wanting to listen to this.
No. I
Ain't
just
nobody
wanted to
got
use
time
that.
for that. Right?
Really, this show keeps me going, but
My dad used to, talk to me about how dirty I was when I'd come into the house or whatever, and I never knew what he was talking about, because you don't really look in the mirror as a kid, but my kids, they'll come up to me and I'm like, go wash your face, like, because there's just dirt, like, caked all around. It's not that they're eating it, but there's other things going in there, so maybe they are kind of eating it. I'm like, who held the pig while you sucked the sow? Your mouth is dirty.
Who held the pig? Were you sucked the sow? There's so many of those awesome Southern sayings. I wish I just had a whole book of them, because some of them are just so appropriate. You can never remember them, There's just such good ones that are so. There was one the other day, and see, I cannot remember it, but I'm like, I told myself I will remember this, and I must use this, and of course I didn't remember, so it shall be forgotten forever, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look them up. That's what I'm gonna do.
I always write things
Save
on my
them on my
Palm
phone.
Pilot, but then wash your hands and it's gone. I need me one of those new dang fangled Palm Pilots.
I've got about 1,000 books, like notebooks, just lying around with random stuff. But because I have so many, when I need to find whatever I need to find, whether it's a line phrase or like song lyrics that I wrote 2 months ago or whatever it is that I need to find, I can never find it. I have like 5 notebooks, and I have to scroll through each one of them, through each page. And then my handwriting sometimes is so terrible, especially like if I'm writing like a song. It's like it changes like completely. Like I'm like, did I write this or did my friend write this? What is this?
That would be something to have a poetry / lyric broadcast in the styles of the old days when in the 90s when we used to go to these poetry slams and sit there on stage and your
Snap our fingers.
Oh, I used to tell those all the time. God, I wish I had all the stuff I used to write. And now with social media, God, I had notebook, I had hundreds and hundreds of pages of stuff. All gone.
So otherwise, like, outside of the riot and the COVID-19, like, have you noticed any drastic changes around you, like, spiritually or otherwise? I don't know, it seems like it's been really, really quiet. I actually took the family to the cemetery, and we had the cops show up because my niece is running around with this red light, and they're used to seeing lights out there because there's, in the newer portion, which is closest to the highway, you could see all these lights that decorate the graves and stuff, or, time visits or whatnot. Yeah, they see this red light moving around, and they're like, what the hell is that? So they come over, and one of them was like, yeah, I follow your page, Four Corners Paranormal, and that was pretty cool, and they left us alone and let us continue to do our thing. I tried to get a hold of the lady earlier in the day, but her was changed to some other lady, and she's like, no, it's a person, but it was interesting. We were able to find a grave that was not on the map, that was my daughter's friend that had passed this last summer, and so we hung out there for a little bit, but it seemed like it was more active. Well, when I saw Dylan, went to see Dylan Red one, he wanted me to convey a message to his mom, and he said convey, and I miss you, and these different things, and that was pretty awesome. But the older side of the cemetery seemed like it was more active. I'm just a person, not and she's like, I'm just a person. Yes, bugging you. But luckily they didn't run us out. Only thing that went bad was I left my EMF detector. It's an EMF antenna that plays songs when something around it or whatnot. And we accidentally left it on one of the benches in the... it's like a hexagon's place where they have benches where people can do funerals or whatnot if they don't do it at their church. And so we left it there, and the next day we came back, and there were some old people tending to the graves and such, and that was knocked off bench and about 3 feet away from it. And they haven't been in there yet. They were, tending to the weeds and everything, but It was kind of interesting, like, how did that happen? But I was glad it was still there, because I had forgotten it. And I realized it that night, but I was not about to go back there again. I got astigmatism. It's hard for me to drive at night.
Same, girl. Like, I went to look at LASIK, and they can't really do crap. I mean, they can fix astigmatism, but basically they're saying I have to pay, like, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 basically to fix it only a slight amount, which to me was like, because it's a different type of surgery that they do for the LASIK for the
Yeah, they'd
astigmatism.
have
I don't
to-
remember.
Yeah, they'd have to
I'm like, I'm
implant
not
like
paying
a...
$3,000 for that. I'll wear my glasses and my contacts when needed, which I never do. But like, who knew, right? Did you know I wear glasses? No, because I don't. Like, ever. They're somewhere around here. I got a good phrase for you. So, like, Arizona today was really hot. I'm looking up these like southern expressions. So today in Arizona, it's been hotter than a goat's butt in a pepper patch.
Hotter than what?
A goat's butt in a pepper patch. Goat's butt in a pepper patch.
Oh, snap. I'm trying to think of some hot ones that my dad used to say, but I can't think of one. But yeah, it was pretty quiet. But it's interesting how the older portion of the cemetery was more active than the newer. Jason was wondering, has anyone been following the events in Mage, Brazil? I honestly can
No.
say I haven't. Now I'm curious. How's your property over there, Mia? Do you have still have things coming there, or have you noticed, like, since you broke your ankle, any uppage on any paranormal experiences, or do you feel like it's gone down a little due to, like, having to be on certain medications and such? Her?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Sorry.
can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. I was on mute. They actually didn't give me any like prescriptions to take longer than just when I got out of the hospital for like 4 days. So I haven't been on any medication. I've been like cleansing, and I've been going through like a major kind of soul shift. Like, I don't call it like a dark night at all, but it's kind of like that. And I mean, just the energies itself are extremely intense. So I haven't really, what I've been in contact with hasn't really been spirits, more like guides and like different types of entities in that regard. There was a spirit that was visiting in the house that we were renting, would come like every night. I spoke about that last month. But since I came here, there hasn't really been much activity except for today, which is very odd. And I think it could always happen. I always get activity usually around the time that I do the show. Like, I totally forgot about the show, and all day, like, I've been having weird, like, I will see something or I'll feel something. But there's something around me right now that's like super goofy, and I don't know what it is, but it's a good energy. Whatever I'm feeling is a good energy. I haven't encountered anything like mean. I haven't encountered anything specific. I did have an encounter which was very, very strange, where I think I was making contact with what is her name? It's Chris Watts, the one that murdered his wife in Colorado. I made weird contact with Shanann, that's her name, not Shanann. And she showed me this park, which was very strange because I don't usually make contact with people through like direct channel, like when I'm watching something. And then there have been times like where I've been listening to a song from a dead artist and then I made contact with that artist, but that's very rare. Like, it's only happened maybe twice to me ever. But it could be because I am in Colorado. I don't know. Or maybe I intentionally went asking, like, subconsciously trying to communicate with her. I don't know. But she showed me a park, and so I just was like, okay, this is strange. Like, I have chills over my entire body. I am watching this show, and all of a sudden I feel like her energy around me, and I'm seeing this image of a park. And so I just Googled like Shanann Watts Park, to see if there was some, I didn't know if there was a specific park. I was thinking there was an object in that park. I was just feeling weird energy about it. And the last picture of her alive was with her and her husband that killed her and the kids at this park. And I was like, and it was not even intentionally. It was somebody else at the park that took the picture. So something really creepy there. And I kind of shut the door
totally
there.
weird.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this right now. So
I wonder if the FBI or anybody followed up on that, like why they would have taken that picture. I know she was online a lot and basically had her everyday life on there quite a bit, and she's pretty big on the internet, but I'm glad you brought up the case. That's one of the places that I really want to go investigate, because even right after they were gone and the detectives were going in there with their dogs and looking for different evidence and such, like, I don't know if you guys have seen in the video, actual police video, but there's an officer that's standing at the top of the stairs, and attached to their right leg is a little girl. You know how they hug the leg? And then you could hear, you said Shanann, you could hear her saying, "This is our house," and some other things. And I think at one point she said, "Help us." But yeah, the kids were running
she's
around
a little bit
giggling. Huh?
She seems like not scared, but it was not a pleasant energy that she had. She seemed like rushing, like panicking almost, like trying to tell me something about this park, which was very strange. And I mean, I feel bad that sometimes when I tune into things that are a little intense for me, I like to take time and reflect it, and I think about it and I kind of shut it off. And it happened very quickly. But you're right, we investigate that specific park because it does list the name of that park. And those pictures were very clearly of the family. I don't know what else they possibly could have been taking a picture of. That was the weird part when I looked it up. I'm like, that is... But the weirdest part is his face, Like, his face was, like, just... I don't know. There was something to do with... I don't know. Maybe he got momentarily possessed. I've always thought that the girlfriend may have had a larger role than... She seems
he didn't have a
innocent
girlfriend.
enough.
He had a boyfriend. Did he have a girlfriend too?
Chris Watts?
Yeah.
No, he had a girlfriend.
He had a boyfriend too.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
What if? Really? I've seen so many. Well, not so many.
Yeah, I
but
think
like,
the female thing was just like, I don't know, maybe to feel better about having an affair, because he actually had several gay affairs, and I think that was the big issue, was he had fallen in love with this one particular guy, and he couldn't, divorce his wife.
I remember this vaguely. Yeah. The guy that spoke out about it, I totally forgot about that. What if he was the one taking the picture?
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering,
Wouldn't that be creepy?
If somebody posted that picture, everybody's seen it, like, I'm pretty sure the FBI or the Bureau of Investigation would follow up on that. That's crazy, because why would you do that unless you were just like a photographer taking different scene photos, or maybe, like you said, something in the background or the front, but they were the background. But was there like something sort of demonic or whatnot about his face, or?
It looked off. He was like, staring down and just looked like mentally, I don't know. I got this weird feeling that there's an entity actually at that park, which was what I was feeling. And my gut was telling me, okay, something's off about that location in general, and something's weird. Or there's something very strange about the fact that there's a picture in that location. And that's when I kind of like backed out. I'm like, okay, if this is something like demonic or something like that, I don't want to deal with it. I shut that door so long ago. I'm like, I'm not dealing with anything that is, I don't even like to deal with things like murder and that type of stuff either, because it's just sad. And it's draining and it's horrible.
But with them, I don't know. I just feel like drawn to that house. I want to go to that house and try to help them.
Me too. Me too. That's why I felt like, yeah.
But for them to capture that evidence, like, it was just insane, all the evidence they're capturing, and a lot of things they were hearing with their own ear. I want to say naked ear, like your naked eye, but with their own ear they were hearing it, and it did come up on videos too, like, so clear. It was amazing how well that they came through, that you could even see these children hearing. It was pretty intense.
That's crazy.
Ooh, okay, so Jason was saying the thing he was talking about in Brazil, and then he was asking about it as well. it's about UFOs, and I guess supposedly something shot down, and the U.S. Was involved with the recovery. So they shot something down, or something shot down? Because last night I was about to ask you guys, are there Perseids or shooting stars or anything going on right now? Because last night, about 3 or so in the morning, taking the dogs out, I'm just staring up into the sky, always hoping to see something. And instead of seeing a shooting star, I saw one going directly down, and then not too, far away from where I was. But it was pretty interesting. If wonder if any Perseids or showers or anything supposed to be happening right now. No?
Not sure.
From last I heard, it was about 3 weeks ago that the Perseids were going by, so it should be well and truly gone by now. Because I was out there trying to look at it, and cloud cover went over, as usual.
Yeah, and before, when I've seen them, they're either like really bright white, or one time we were going into Durango and we saw one in the atmosphere that was like a blue and green color, but this one was like an orangish red, and it had quite a tail on it, but it wasn't moving super fast. It just looked like, instead of being a shooting star, it was a falling star, like it had just fallen out of the sky. So okay, no Perseids or anything. I'll have to check that out and see if there's anything else going on. I don't know, could it be space debris? Not sure, but it was interesting. Anything going on in Phoenix as far as UFO sightings and such? It's been weird since the COVID thing happened. There were some different UFO sightings, so it makes me wonder if there's any activity down in Phoenix.
I haven't personally seen. I know there's guys that specifically scan the skies out here. One guy's been doing it for over 20 years. I think his name is Jeff Wiles. Pretty sure that's his name. My memory serves. He's gotten a lot of. He has a YouTube, I believe, and he has gotten a lot of footage over Phoenix over the last since the early 2000s. He's been doing it since the early 90s, actually. He had, I believe, UFOs over Arizona, Phoenix public access. As recent as 2006. I know that's 14 years ago, but public access. That's one thing I missed about, what they used to do. Certain cities, I don't know if they did it where, in Denver or Bayfield or whatever, but in Phoenix, they had the public access station. You just go down there and take your classes for free, learn how to run all the equipment, and basically you could have your own television show. So a lot of guys did this. A lot of people did this, and this is where he put a lot of the UFO stuff in the early, like I said, in the early 90s and stuff. So I used to watch the public access. It was pretty good.
Yeah, they have a program like that here in Durango, and my dad was a part of it for a while. It's called DCAT. And like you said, you class learn how to use the equipment and actually check the equipment out and use the cameras for, like you said, your own different things. And perhaps even have a show on there. But it's, pretty awesome. You have to pay like a small fee, but otherwise, really good investment.
Yeah, but I quit doing it. And I don't, when something's good, why does it change? I don't mind.
So Jason was saying they actually shot something down, and Nikki's like, "Hey, why the heck is this involved?" And they're involved in all kinds of UFO stuff. But yeah, why the heck are they down in Brazil? Weird.
Well, if I have a treaty about dealing with extraterrestrials, and if they have if they have a UFO in Brazil, and if they have that treaty like they talked about, well, then of course you're going to come. Those people, I would imagine, involved in the treaty. Hey, we have an UFO incident here, code level, however they do the security settings. So they send teams in, Team America, Team Europe, whatever. That's just a wild guess, but I'd imagine that's how it would work out. You hear about the treaties that were signed, supposedly with some 100 and some odd nations, and I think when I did my interview with Chris, we mentioned it.
And who is
that? That's what he even said there. Remember, Chris, when I did the interview with him, he said that when he talked to Baritone in the 1970s at Shemy Air Force Base, that they were working a treaty between the quote unquote aliens and the U.S. government. So, and I'm thinking that if there's a treaty with the nations in dealing with extraterrestrials, or aliens. And if there's an incident, whether it be in America or whatever country, then people who are part of that treaty, whether they're teams or whatever, they send them out. They go in and help with the situation. Just like if you're calling in the FBI to, help on a missing persons case in Denver, now it's a federal case for whatever reason. I know maybe that's not a very good analogy, but I think you guys are trying to say.
Robert just sits and smiles. What
He's
about
like
over
a
there?
wise Zen Buddha.
What, Mia?
I said he's like a wise Zen Buddha. Right? Just sits there like a enlightened one, quietly. Smiling.
Quietly reflecting.
Yeah.
Belly, free for rubbing.
So as far as UFO activity, over in Australia, have you guys had a lot going on, or no?
Not a lot I've heard of. There might have been a few things happening down south, but because the borders are closed, we wouldn't be able to go down there anyway. There's only two places that have their borders open at the moment because of the corona. That's New South Wales and Victoria. And as you know, the other Andy is in New South Wales, and he's happy because he can go down to Victoria if he wants to, but no one's allowed to go past the Queensland border on either side, and all the other ones are as well. So if there is activity going on, then they either haven't mentioned it or they're just exploring it and investigating things for themselves in those states.
Mia, what about you? Anything going on in the skies? You were saying last time, I think, look up.
Yes, and that was right before they had that other light thing in Phoenix. I have been actually looking up at the skies at night because, that's something I take for granted when I'm here in Colorado. But the sky, like the stars here, are incredible. You go to Arizona, and even out in the desert, you don't see too many stars. But here, you actually see like more often shooting stars, even. So nothing odd as far as that is concerned. There was an awesome moon a few weeks ago. And I think it was like a blood moon or something like that. I can't remember. I have to go back. I think it was a blood moon. It was a new moon. It was a new moon? A super moon. It was a super moon. There we go. Okay. Because there's so many moons. It was a super moon. It was beautiful. But no ET activity.
It was funny because my family's here and showing my nephew my different pictures I have, UFO pictures and stuff, and they ran into town to hit the depot and such, and on the way back, I guess they saw a UFO, and they were on the side of the road, but they weren't far away off, I guess. This cop shop that they say had like a Napoleon complex going on because he was super short, but really pissy, and he's like, "What are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys parked here off the side of the road?" And they laughed at first because they couldn't believe what they were about to say, and then they were like, "We saw a UFO, 3 lights and whatever," and he just kind of laughed at him. He's like, "No, seriously, like, what the hell are you guys doing?" And they told him again what they had seen, and he's like, "Well, I don't really give a shit what you guys do. You need to get the hell off the road." And according to Austin, my niece was kind of parked on a curve, which is not good because you don't have good line of sight or whatnot, but they had to pull over because they had seen a UFO, 3 lights connected like a triangle, and she said it did this like weird maneuver that planes don't do, and it was from this highway to airport, not very far as the crow flies. But yeah, she said they had seen it, and he did too. They were really super hyped up when they got here. They had seen a UFO. But I think there has been a lot of activity going on. I don't know. I was supposed to have an eye appointment last week, but I said I really need my spectacles back so I could see clearer, because with astigmatism, you get reflective light and different things going on that make it hard to decipher between, is that a refracting light or is that actually two different things going back and forth?
That's true. Like, I remember I spoke with you guys last time, and I swear I saw this light that flashed a couple of times and then completely disappeared. And I looked, and it was bright, and it wasn't like a plain like blinks. It was like flash, done. And I looked to see where it went, and I thought that was very odd. But I thought maybe that could be like a private, smaller plane or something, or maybe I kept thinking of possibilities because I know there's a lot of planes kind of on the flight path that go by the mountains towards where I'm at. So I thought maybe it was a plane, but I looked everywhere, and it's usually not that bright, and it's usually not in that part of the sky. So I thought that was very weird. But nothing since then.
Okay, so
It's
Nikki
weird. It's hard
said,
to determine.
yeah, Nikki said on 12th there was a UFO in Rio, Brazil. And then Jason was saying the base the U.S. now owns in Brazil now has a replica cut out of the Pentagon. It's the same size as the one you see. The two Pentagons line up with the other 5 sighted areas that connect to a very specific place in Antarctica. Very interesting. Man.
I love the Antarctica archives. Let's all move there.
That's okay. You can go. I don't move to Antarctica.
You can have it all to yourself. Yeah, you can have that cold definitely to yourself.
Oh no, I want to move to the giant extraterrestrial / military base that's there. And that's what I want to do. It's like underground or something, so it won't be cold. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I must be tired.
So Mia, how are you getting around? Are you crutching it? Do you have a scooter?
I did find a used scooter to take around the house, but I don't have a cast or any protection on my leg, but that doesn't stop me from just hopping around. I pretty much just hop around on one leg, like a little bunny flamingo hybrid.
I have a brace if you need one. My
They
left
gave
foot.
me one. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
They gave me a leg brace, but it's like it's so heavy and it cuts off my circulation, and then my foot swells like crazy. So, I mean, it's built for normal sized people, and I am not a normal sized person. I'm like a child person. It should have been like a little children's one, but it's heavy. And it goes on my whole leg, like all the way up my thigh. It's just so heavy, it just weighs me. So no, I just hop around. It's a lot of work though. Like I can only do it for 4 minutes at a time, and then I'm out of breath, or my leg gives out. I don't know. It's interesting. I really appreciate legs now. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm so thankful for all the time I have with 2 legs. Hopefully it comes back.
Yeah, I was
I
just
gotta
wondering.
hand it to people who are handicapped there,
Yeah.
Permanently.
Very sad.
Sympathize.
Yes, and appreciate. Count your.
Exactly. That's what I've been telling people. Just be thankful. Just be thankful for what you have. Because really, we can there's all things that we can be thankful for no matter what our situation is, even with the COVID thing. Even regarding the COVID thing, there are some people whose situations are probably so much worse than ours,
Yeah.
Then sometimes I get in those moods, I'm like, well, at least you have 2 legs,
Yeah, I had a gunny that, was telling me no matter how hard or how bad you think you have, there's always somebody out there that has it worse. And it's very true. Although at the time I didn't want to hear it. Just shut up! Let me mourn my stuff. Yeah. Appreciate what you got. And yeah, when you do, I broke my foot off and I was down for a while, but I love that scooter Jamie let me borrow. I was whipping around all kinds of places. Luckily, I had a set of brakes on it. But I was thinking the other day about you and I going to the cemetery and doing different things for our channel. 'Cause, I don't know. It's just different with different people, when you have different gifts and stuff going on, sometimes you pick up more. And we actually went on a new moon but I'm wondering what the difference would be on a full moon, especially not really needing to use lights and stuff. But I need somebody in my area to go out with me. Will you go out with me?
I can go. I can go. I'll make it happen. I can't move around that much, so.
Yeah, the cool thing about this cemetery here is they have a track where actually people go in for their afternoon walks and stuff like that. But you can get around basically the whole cemetery on little paved trails.
Awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I wish my car had like a ramp though for my scooter. Then I'd be in business.
Is yours like one of those electronic scooters, or you got a scooter?
Oh, it's one of those like hover around type things.
Oh damn! Heck yeah!
Well, it's not hover around, but it's like a cheaper version. But I got it used on OfferUp in Arizona, which probably would be more difficult around here. And but I can't go outside with it. Like, it won't go over the door. It's kind of a cheaply made one, but I don't really care. It's like, it works. It's fun. When I'm bored, I just go around the table and I'm like rocking out to my music in my underwear, kind of like driving it around in circles in the great room like that, the dining room or whatever it is. Like, it's so funny. Like, I sometimes catch myself. I'm like, oh my goodness, this quarantine with my pig on my lap.
We got
My
Sleepy's
little
room
piglet.
here. Sleepy, you and your roommate's head are cut off. Is that intentional? I can't see your fez. Man,
Is that, how can you see my face? It
Yes.
shows it. Hi, how are you?
howdy. How?
Oh, wow. That's the
Declare.
that's a 64 Chevy Nova Gas, the Tootsie Roller that Hot Wheels did.
Very nice.
That is well, I've seen it. I didn't pay that much for it because it's a Red Line Club. You know how you can be memberships. Either way, they're very hard cars to get. And on the second-hand market, I've seen them go for between right now they're hovering about $75 to $80
Holy
for
snakes.
one. And originally they were $19.99 when you ordered them. You had to mail order them on the internet or whatnot. But so
How many
That's
weeks
the newest
does it take to that center?
oh man, it's I'd say that should be hard to break. I'd like to check her engine out. Huh?
Chicken. Jason,
I was just thinking about that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Jason was also saying that one of the lines that these pentagons are on actually crosses directly over the Temple Mount. Makes me wonder, though, like, are these located on ley lines or anywhere near those?
I know this doesn't really have. Well, maybe it does. Speaking of ley lines, I know that Edward Lee Scallon had constructed Coral Castle along the ley lines. He was actually dowsing, and in the early days before he settled on his property, locals down there in Florida would see him dowsing around. And when they asked him what he was doing, he said he was looking for the perfect piece of land, and everybody thought he was nuts. But his point was the energetic lines as well.
There's a lot of amazing different things that seem to happen along ley lines, whether it's really amazing structures, like you said, the Coral Castle, or different parallels that they were talking about where paranormal activity just seems to be increased. I don't know if it's because it's easier for vortices and such to pop up or what. I'm not sure.
I tell you, there are certain areas, around the country, around the world that are portals. If people go back and listen to my interview with Brian Melvin, he speaks of when he had his experience, his after-death experience of demons. They climb on top of each other and they sing harmonic tones to open up portals. And he actually saw them literally what pretty much what Ridge had described, a hole opening up in the ground and then hopping out. Well, he saw a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot hopping into one, and the hole closing up. So that'd be a very good example of the spiritual meeting the physical, and one dimension to the next, and coupled with the mysterious disappearances that authors like Steph Young and David Pilates have done, and countless others as well. So, portals, vortexes in Sedona. I went to one that was supposed I didn't feel anything other than a weird Indian guy who threatened to throw my then girlfriend off the ledge. What would you do if I tossed her off the ledge? I'd be like, what? Yeah, it was really weird. That was weird.
Did you pay me some money? I wonder if that's what he was looking for.
No.
Or was he just evil?
Well, the lady coming as we were going up, a lady was coming down and warned us. She said, "There's a really weird Indian guy up there trying to sell his jewelry, so watch out." But that's all she said. She didn't say, "Oh, he threatened me," or "Hey, he's got a machete or any kind of weapon." That was strange.
Very creepy. Did he have black eyes? Maybe he needed to sell jewelry to make money to get his meds.
Well, I don't care, but you don't threaten to throw someone's girlfriend off a ledge of a cliff.
That's when you tell him just wait until I get the life insurance policy situated, and then we'll talk.
Let me call my attorney real quick.
But for now, your services are not needed, sir.
Yeah, it's weird how different random scary things like that can happen. We like to go yard selling, and
or here.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I don't want to interrupt. Just remind me to tell you about the creepy old guy when.
Okay, creepy old guy.
Mel. Yep, that's all. But go on with your story.
But we saw this sign on the side of the road just past the tunnel outside of Mayfield. You go across the bridge and there's that tunnel, and then to the right there's a horse field and stuff. Well, we're following the sign and we get to a place that we never knew existed, and it looks like a freaking modern day compound. It's like these apartment buildings in the middle of nowhere with signs directing you of where to go for this yard sale. And first we walk into the courtyard, and then you see another sign going further in, and another sign further in. And I'm like, fuck this, let's get out of here, because I'm not going to be, in some, oh man, I don't want to be brainwashed and take prisoner and whatever the hell they're trying to do here. It just was quiet. You didn't see anybody anywhere, but there's tons of cars. You don't hear voices. You don't see anyone. Like, where the hell is everyone? It was really creepy. Okay, creepy guy.
Old guy. Creepy old guy.
So one day, I'm out with Melody, and she's riding her hoverboard, and we have a wall that divides the two properties, the two apartment complexes. So she likes to go on the other side because the sidewalk is much wider and it goes further. So she's riding it and doing everything and having fun, and so she says, "You try." So I'm getting on it and I'm riding around. Well, there's an old guy that lives in our complex, and he walks around and walks his dog. He goes right by the pool. I know he is, so it's not like I don't know him. I always say a friendly hello when I take Mel out. And anyway, so he's out there walking his dog, and he sees me riding this hoverboard, and he says something to the effect, the first thing, I'm paraphrasing, he says, "Be careful that you don't fall. You're going pretty fast." And I said, "Yeah, right." And then he continues walking, and I go all the way down to the sidewalk, and I come all the way back, and then he turns around, and it was like almost in a different voice. It was like a lower voice and kind of grunted, like, I don't know, like somebody was smoking, like a more raspier voice. That's what I'm looking for. And he looked me dead in the eye as I stop, and he goes, "Maybe somebody wants you to fall. Maybe they would enjoy that." And I was like, "What?" And I said, "What did you say to me?"
Oh my gosh.
I said, "Would you enjoy me to like what?" I said, "Would you like to watch me fall, sir? Is that it?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, you just told me maybe somebody wants you to fall." And he's like, eh? I'm like, Jesus. You know, walk in, walk out, you know, possession for a second.
Creepy.
Yeah. I'm like, what would possess you to say that to me, much less another person?
What
That's
would
like,
possess you?
A temporary
Right, a
possession.
Right.
Mhm.
But that's like somebody saying, oh, you're going jet skiing this weekend. Hope you have a crash. I mean, that's what's up.
Hope you
Excuse
don't
my
drown
language.
out
I
there.
got to go. Yeah, my buddy died that way. Guy I went to middle school and high school with. They said it was a weird jet skiing accident, and I can't get any details on that. Although it's hard to ask about a peer's death. You know, you don't want to come off like a jerk or something, but they say he died mysteriously. So.
I've got a
Crazy.
creepy old lady story.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Ooh,
Okay.
did you deliver a pizza? I'm just kidding.
It's okay. So I was with my friend who I've known for 15 years. This was back in probably 2008 or 9. And we went to Flagstaff to visit her father and his fiance. It was my first time driving in snow. We had a rental vehicle, and I just remember it being completely dark, driving in the middle of a blizzard, not being able to see anything, and being a desert human at that time. Also, haven't been driving more than a couple of years, and I freaked out. I mean, it was scary, but we made it there, and her great aunt lived with her father. Now, this is like an 85, 90-year-old woman, right? Tiny, tiny little old woman. And we get there, and immediately I felt like something was off, but I didn't pay any attention to it. I was just getting over a cold. Oh, my friend was just getting over a cold. I was just starting to get the same cold that she had had. So we were going to stay there for a couple of days. Her dad was really cool. And we were just going to stay there for a couple of days because we were invited to, come see snow. And so I just felt like something was off from the very get-go, like something was really weird. And what I noticed after a couple of days was that, and my friend was sick, we were both sick, but it hadn't hit me that hard yet. And every morning was like Groundhog's Day. Like, it was really creepy. Her dad and her dad's girlfriend would come out of the house with the exact same conversation every single morning. And it was creepy. Just creepy. Like, the exact same thing. They would say the exact same thing to me. They would say, and she was sick in the room. She didn't notice this Groundhog's Day thing because she was sick and sleeping in all day. And so I was really hanging out with her dad and his girlfriend, like, most of the time. Like, I would go do things with them during the day because she was sick and whatever. And I was starting to get sick, but it wasn't really bad yet. Anyway, so back to the great aunt. The great aunt, the very old lady. I remember her. She supposedly had dementia or Alzheimer's or something to that effect. But she was still very, very active, and she would take her stuff and hide it and move it in weird places, which is normal for someone with dementia. But I remember one night her talking to my friend's father, and I hear her in this weird voice saying, she said, I want those girls to leave. And me thinking it was very strange for being such a nice, sweet little old lady, she said it in a very strict, weird voice, and she's like, who are those girls? I want to leave. And I'm like, I don't like those girls. And I heard her say this a couple times and never heard it again. And so, I mean, she would wear stuff in the strangest places, put like things like important to us in the refrigerator, in the cabinets, just weird stuff. And one day I wake up and it's snowing outside, and I was out there shoveling snow. And I was like, okay, well, I will try to do it myself, just to help. And because I'd never done it before, I'm going to Phoenix, there's snow, so I'd actually never shoveled snow before in my life. And so I did it, and I didn't realize how hard it was. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so I'm out there for a little bit, like 20 minutes, and I stop, and the old lady, the old grandma comes outside, and she grabbed the shovel from me. And she is like 85, 90 pounds. And I heard just quickly shoveling the heck out of that snow. I know, and I thought that was really creepy. She had like superhuman strength. And I thought that was really creepy. And so at this point, I'm full blown sick. Her dad and her stepmom, we'll call her, are out at the casino all night. And it's just us, creepy great aunt, creepy grandma. And we're laying there in bed, and I'm like feeling something kind of weird. I'm like, screw this, I'm just going to take a bunch of Quil and knock myself out because I feel like crap, right? My friend wakes me up in the middle, and I just feel just weird. She wakes me up, she's afraid, I'm afraid, and I feel this just complete dread. Just complete and utter dread. And I look up, and I swear I'm seeing like this swirly black cloud above us. So whatever I was picking up on, which hadn't come into the room, or we hadn't felt it near us really so much, just kind of in the house somewhere, or just weird things, was now like right around with us. And ever since her dad and her stepmom left, it's like the whole house just feels so freaking creepy. I see this black swirly clouds. My friend, she's super intuitive. She's like, we got to get out of here. And we're hearing all of a sudden just banging outside of the door. Like, creepy grandma is throwing a fit in one of these other rooms, throwing stuff. Like, we're terrified at this point. And she started talking and saying really weird, creepy things, like in a really creepy voice. We're in this bedroom, and we see that, we see the door handle, and goodness, the door was locked. We see the door handle just try to open, right? And we're like, okay, we have to get the F out here, like, now. And my friend's freaking out, and I never see her freak out, but she, we're like, we gotta go. Her family has some very strange possession type stuff. I won't get into it. It's some weird generational, I don't know. She's cool, but she'll admit that as well. There's possession family. And anyway, so then we see the door kind of slowly turn again, and we wait about 10 minutes, and we're sitting there, and we're grabbing each other, and we're holding each other, and we're just feeling like we need to leave. Both of us are like full-blown almost panic attack. Left in the middle of the night. We didn't say anything. She didn't talk to her dad for like 2 years. Like, no joke. It was really creepy. Something was going on in that house, and it was very, 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 very strange. And his girlfriend said she was pregnant. She was like 50 at the time. And
Holy
just strange. The whole thing was strange. Twilight Zone, like, very strange. But yeah, that's my creepy grandma story. When she was shoveling that snow, that 80, 90-pound woman, shoveling that snow that I could not get. And I'm not a weak person. You know, like, even, like, then I was even more in shape than I am now. And I, like, that she just, like, nothing. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Like, not human, not normal. I think that the elderly are more, or older people can sometimes be more susceptible to things like that. I mean, heaven forbid that ever happened, but I do believe that they are more susceptible because I've seen it. That was very...
Yeah, that's super scary. Especially, like, you guys are alone in the room, should you her super strange, like, let's crawl down.
We did talk about it. Eventually, we just waited for everything to quiet down out there.
Well, on that note, we do have to go to a musical break with McKay from Ontario, Canada, with Will You Know, and we have Tracy Cruz from Oakland, California, with Electricity and Emotional Love. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Right after this music break.
Los Angeles is...
So is Cave Creek. What do you know about Cave Creek fire?
On recently?
Right now, it's on fire. Like,
It's rushing towards fields painted greener. It doesn't see the demons behind, praying you're getting close to the line, so they can get their hands on love and trade it off for silver. The curtain's nice, but what it hides is worse than sticks and stones. Before you climb the fence tonight, look through the microscope. left upon my chest, I'll attest. I don't really wanna forget to forget you. Taught me how to turn a blind eye. I showed you how to keep your shoulder cold. No one walked away without a scar. I've been digging through the pieces. Your heart is out of reach, but objects may seem nearer through this rippled mirror. I've been digging through the pieces. Your heart is out of reach, but objects may seem nearer through this rippled mirror. You taught me how to turn a blind eye. I showed you how to keep a shoulder cold. No one walked away without a scar. I've been digging through the pieces. Your heart is out of reach, but objects may seem nearer through this rippled mirror. I've been digging through the pieces. Your heart is out of reach, but objects may seem nearer through this rippled mirror.
Your love empowers me. It gives me the energy to move beyond my capabilities. There is no limit to what your love can do.
I feel chemistry whenever you're close to me, and I cannot explain your energy, 'cause you're pulling me like gravity. It feels so strong, I can't not escape your and put down, it's been shattered, and then I'm left without any clue to know the real truth about what I found. But with you I found my common ground. Your love makes me emotional, 'cause you're the one that makes me feel emotional. You make me feel that love is real, 'cause you're the one that makes me feel emotional. Ever since I was young, my mom said love makes you strong when everything goes wrong and you can't go on. I believe the love you have for me surpassed infinity. That's why you're all I see. Your love makes me emotional, 'cause you're the one that makes me feel so emotional. 'Cause you're the one that makes me feel. Your love makes me emotional. Your love, 'cause you're the one that makes me feel so emotional. What you have is magical. We feel so emotional. You move me so I can't let go. I can't let go. You touch my soul, I can't let go. I can't let go. 'Cause what we have is magical. Your love's emotional. Your love makes me emotional. 'Cause you're the one that makes me feel. Can't you see you do something to me? Oh, I can't let go. No. You make me feel. Your love's emotional. So emotional. So emotional. It feels so real to me. It feels so real to me. You're the one that makes me feel. It feels so real, yeah. Love is makes me feel, yeah. Emotional.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Paradox Paranormal Forum. Tonight we have Robert White, SleepyDave Davenport, and Mea Savage. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you. I'm reporting live. We're going mobile.
Mobile. I heard something about the Golden Arches. Sounds pretty good. Could you grab me a McDouble? Small fries, the delicious duo. Where'd the sound go?
Yep, we're
Chocolate McFrap.
Chocolate McFrap. Oh, snap. He's on mute. Mia, are you still here?
I'm here.
I am. I'm just in the other room. It's kind of loud. So
Where to go?
What'd you say, Sleepy?
I said we were discussing which routes to navigate to first.
Nice. Jason sent some pictures from Antarctica. These are really freaking interesting. I'm gonna save them really quick and then send them to you guys in the chat and see what you think. But these are pretty intriguing. Even the ancient maps of the area with the different sea critters and such. Hold on. I mean, there's been so many stories throughout history about Antarctica and the different things going on up there. And with the melt off and such, you know, I don't know. I think, was that where they had that wreck where it showed something had hit and then slid ways, and some people were saying it was like a crystal pillar or ice pillar, and others were saying it was a shuttlecraft because it looked like one of the cigar crafts. Was that in Antarctica as well?
I think it looked. I thought I saw something like that in passing and scrolling on my feed.
I'm going to send these 3 first. And then I'll send some more, because if I try to send them all at once, then it's going to take a while. But this is interesting. I heard something about pyramids, but I haven't heard anything about, like, castle-like structures.
Yeah, I thought Linda Moulton Howe did a show about pyramids in Antarctica. Somebody might want to look it up, but I think she has a lot of information on that. I think she did an interview with George Norrie some time ago.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. A lot of people, you know, since she's gone mainstream, are totally talking down about her and stuff, but I still really, you know, think she's done a lot of good work out there.
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't followed her since really probably for 15 years, other than hearing her if she's been part of like a round table or something's come across my feed. But I used to go to earthfiles.com or whatever her website was, but it just, all I remember is, you know, certain cases she would talk about and she would say, we will follow up more. And I wish I could give you some examples, but you know, these are things that you find when you're late night surfing YouTube and you run across like, oh, interview with Linda Moulton Howe, 1990 whatever with Art Bell, and she talks about a case and it's like, wow, and where's the follow-up? And you never hear a follow-up. And I think that's, man, what the hell's going on over here? Excuse my language. I'm mobile, as I said, and it looks like American graffiti over here, man. I don't know what the hell's going on.
You guys be careful.
But, yeah, but either way. But as far as the research, I never had a problem with it. You know.
Yeah, and she's gotten a lot of interviews that a lot of other people couldn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Jason said he was going to call in. Hold on, let me give him the number really quick. And Jason, just be prepared for it not to go through, because Skype has been a prick about letting calls go through. So if I can't answer, I'll call you back. We'll see if they've fixed their stuff that they fixed and ruined.
Don't fix what ain't broke.
That's right.
Let's just break other crap instead. Right?
Love the sound
Like
of breaking
YouTube,
glass.
The new layout on YouTube's comments is driving me mad. Like, I don't know if it's the same on a desktop, but it's crazy. Like on your phone, if you're on YouTube, because pretty much I have nothing else to do with my day but troll comment section on YouTube. It's very fascinating because you get the most random, stupidest things, like weirdest videos on your feed. And of course, you click on them and then you read the comments and they're hilarious or they're completely wrong. And you have to tell them that they're wrong. And anyway, so the whole format, they screwed it up. I'm like, why did you guys, what happened? What was wrong with the old format? Like, why? what was wrong with actually being able to see the comments without having to hunt for them?
Because it wasn't annoying anymore.
Exactly. I think they're just overloaded with comments right now. They're like, okay, I don't want to look at all these crazy people's comments anymore. We're just going to hide them.
That is crazy how they do that, though. But there's different settings that you set, and then it messes stuff up. I guess I had some sort of restricted setting on my YouTube where it wouldn't allow me to watch videos that are for adults. And I'm like, come on, man. Jason, just hold on 1 second. I got your number here. I'm trying to call you back because Skype is still causing issues. But yeah, speaking of YouTube, since my mom quit DirecTV and I no longer have TV on my phone, she has the Roku stick now, but I've been watching YouTube and different ghost hunters, Oh My Gosh, and CJ, I can't remember his last name, Feason or something like that, and Mr. Deeds, and I don't know, it's just funny to me because they all decide to wear their Nikes or their really nice shoes out to ghost hunt in tunnels and, different places where you have to go through water, and they're bitching about their shoes like half the time. It's like, why don't you use your common sense and freaking wear water or rain boots? Something? I don't know. I was telling my daughter about that earlier. I'm like, this is what really irritates me about YouTube. They're worse than women about their damn shoes. Oh no, my new Nikes.
I hate that everything's censored now on YouTube. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like freedom of speech, like everything is, there's just not, it's not as open as it used to be, It's like, I think Google owns YouTube, am I correct? Google now owns YouTube as of, I don't know, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that, I believe. And it's just messed up ever since they did that. Like, all of these conspiracy videos that I used to find on there, gone. Like, and now, like, with the Corona, COVID-19 videos, like, just there's such limited stuff about it there now, I don't know. Like, especially if it's a conspiracy about it. There's just way fewer videos that are way, it doesn't have to be COVID-19. It can be anything. Like, all of these conspiracy videos and channels, it kept getting removed. Specifically, there was a channel that I really, really loved. That was a conspiracy theorist guy. Awesome black dude. And I can't remember the name of the channel, but he was so good. And for years, and he kept having his channels getting taken down and flagged. And so he had to keep creating new channels, like his whole channel, like multiple times. I mean, that's just stupid to me. Just because he's a conspiracy theorist, his videos were super high quality and they were opinions.
Well, now they have like, is this appropriate for children? And you can pick no, or say yes if it is. Mine, I say, aren't appropriate for children because sometimes we cuss or whatever. Otherwise, like, kids hear half the time anyways, but I want to be honest and say, hey, we do cuss occasionally on here. But I think we have Jason on the line. Jason, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just hanging out.
Nice. I don't know if you can look over in the chat, but I did put those different pictures up for the forum to check out. The castle ones I've never heard about before. Like, those are pretty interesting.
I'm looking at them all just from my email to get over to the chat, but they're different. It's a lot to take in. Those are a few different very old maps that don't get circulated very often. But it's a lot to take in. It's not just me. There's a group of people that have been looking at this for some time, and this is part of an accumulation of what's been found.
Yeah, and I should post these over on We Are Paradox Media on Facebook as well. Can you kind of take us through these different photos and let us know what exactly we're looking at?
Sure, I can try
even
to.
that
Yeah. So, the first one that's I'm going to go with the emails. That's what I have access to right now, where it shows looks like a pool of water, and there's obvious ice, and snow around that water, and there's something in the water. Most of it is in the water, except part of it's coming on land, and it's either coming on the land or grabbing something. But I think we measured that, and that was over 300 feet long. It looks like a living thing. So it could be a whale. It could be something else, some creature.
Yeah, it looks like something prehistoric.
It's something. And the way we found it was we used the time slider on Google Earth, because what we noticed was happening if we didn't use that, we would find things that were getting covered up. So somebody's being very deliberate about covering up certain areas. This is partially how we uncovered them.
Yeah, I haven't been on Google Earth for a while. The last time I was on there, there was a cave, and I'm not sure, was that in Alaska or in Antarctica, but it was in the side of the mountain, and everybody was like, hey, what is this? And then all of a sudden they went in and covered it up where you can't even look at it anymore.
I'm not sure where that one's at, so, but I'm not surprised.
So this one with the 3 lines triangulating off of it, what is this picture?
Okay, that is the Temple Mount. There's 3 lines that connect to it that come from other 5-sided structures. Some of them are irregular pentagons. Some of them are pentagon shapes, almost a perfect pentagon, and they align with other historical sites. They go back to Antarctica. They go back to Washington, D.C., the Pentagon of D.C. They go to various other specific sites around the world, and they connect to other things along the way. So it appears to us, this is way woo, that there is a series of 5-sided shapes located throughout the planet that all connect in different hemispheres. So if you take the word serpent and you split it up into 2 words, it has a different meaning. So this is on one of the maps, it refers to that word, those 2 words. So we know what serpent is, being a reptile, but if you split it up into serpent, it means something else. It means it's 5-sided. And that we picked that up from the maps. So we don't know what it means, what it is, but there are 3 or 4 different groupings of these around the planet.
And it makes you wonder.
That's very interesting.
What the 5 sides is about, and if it lines up on the other side as well, not just that one, to other things.
It does. I don't know if it was some form of transportation or some form of power, but whatever it is, it's very old. And I don't think there's too many connections for it not to be something at this point.
So where
it's
are
strange
you at
how
on...
the synchronicities. Oh, I was just going to say, it's very strange how the synchronicity is in different continents and during different time periods and stuff line up. It makes, it makes perfect sense. I mean, with Egypt and, Mayan Aztec, they had the same flying serpent statue in front of the same kind of pyramid in the same spot. I mean, what are the odds? I mean, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, completely different time periods. It's yeah.
They show flying serpents on some of those maps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in India as well.
In India, yeah.
And
China.
they have a god that's yes, of course, China. I can't do it. Don't even. Just erase that from your memory.
All right. Scrubbed.
what is it? Those little flashers on Men in Black, like the little, I don't know what they're
Yeah.
called.
Look at this little light gun.
Dememorizer. Yeah. Sometimes I wish I had one of those.
So it's interesting, though, like a lot of people are talking about COVID-19. Something else is going on, and then stay inside. Well, stay at home if you live in a really crowded neighborhood, stay inside. But if not, get out and get your freaking vitamin D and whatnot. You know, fresh air is better for you than circulated air. But people are seeing so many different sightings, and it's just amazing to me. Like, is there really something else to this? Is there going to be some sort of, you know, takeover, or are they going to come in fleets and try to communicate finally? I don't know. With a shooting down of that thing in Brazil, too, like, who wants to talk to a bunch of freaking heathens? Shoot first, ask questions later. Like, or is there a reason for it? Are they bad? You know, we see artwork where there's battles in the sky of good and evil. You know, there's good aliens, bad aliens.
Yeah, I always wonder how much is
let
a
me step in and
distraction.
say something.
Go ahead, Sleepy.
Okay. Well, earlier you're asking if there's anything weird in the air. Yeah, look, I've noticed ever since this COVID thing, there's a thick, like right now, a good example, right now, I pull up, it's unusually, I know it's Saturday night, but around these parts, especially where I just went, it's very rare to see people, and like all these cars lined up perfectly, parked at the gas, and you know, normal teenagers hanging out. But the creepy thing was this. Here I am. I'm in the store, and two people behind me. There's this dude. Look, I swear, and I've seen people dressed like this when they're out in these protest videos causing havoc. And this dude was dressed up like a German Nazi Stasi guy. I don't even think they were Doc Marten boots, but he had the black style military boots, the black cargo pants, black button-up shirt, rolled up sleeves to his elbows. He got the old black army cap on like he's a fucking corporal, excuse my language, and he's on a skateboard, you know. So I'm waiting for Anthony to finish up, and we're waiting outside. And this guy's, skating around, and he skates across to the to the coffee shop, and kind of hides behind a stone pillar there, and he gets on his phone, man. And now I'm facing it. I pulled around to the front to wait for Anthony to finish it up, to be closer to when he comes out. And this feller here, he's on his phone, looking at me, looking at the teens, whatever they're doing, and he's. I don't know if he was taking pictures or what he was doing, but after I pulled out, I looked at him in my side view mirror, and he turns his body totally towards the back end of my car, and gets on his phone. He's doing whatever, and I'm kind of wondering if these are the new, total information awareness network that. Oh, see, it's closed, brother. It's closed, Melody. Now that's unusual. Why? See, it's 9:30. It's 9:30 on a Saturday night, and you're telling me McDonald's is closed. This McDonald's is never closed. Something strange in the air going on tonight over here, man. Let's take a ride. And it could be anything as innocent as that guy dressed up as just regular. If that's the new style nowadays with some of the teenagers. They're looking like they're about, night of the black shirts. No joke. That was some scary. Are you sure the drive-thru's open? Okay.
They gotta be. Here the streets roll up at 8 o'clock, except for the Speedway. They'll stay open until, I think, 3. They used to be 24/7, but now they stay open until 3, I think. Unless they've taken that lower, but...
You're told it's open.
Heck yeah.
Dave, get me some nuggies.
Some
They just turned on all the lights.
Spicy mustard.
See, they just turned on all the lights. They had all the building lights off. Now they're taking orders. That's weird.
Strange. Did it just get dark? It's been dark for a while, right? Like, maybe
Been
they're
dark,
just off
yeah,
their
but-
schedule.
No, I mean, I've lived here in this area for 2 years, and I've never, I don't know, there's some, I don't know, I should turn the camera around so you can see what I'm
It
talking
is on,
about.
but it's facing you.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying, turn the camera around. Here, hold that up.
I'd have been in power saver mode.
Ow. Yeah, how much is a medium fry? A medium fry. May I get one of those? $3.19. Cool. May I just get one of those, and that is all, please? Thank you. What do you have?
If you get the delicious duo, it's like $3 for small fries
Hey.
and a double cheeseburger. That's what I get. I don't eat as much as I used to. Like, I used to get the double quarter pounder with cheese meals, supersize it. But now
I'm getting Melody fries. So that's what she wants.
Yep. She's like, if you want to sleep tonight, I need my damn French fries.
Yep. If you know what's good for you, I can give it for fries.
She's like, I know where you sleep.
Yeah.
I've been living like a fatty since I broke my leg. I eat the weirdest things. Sodium. I'm the worst with like things that have salt in them, and then I retain like a lot of water because of it. Those freaking cup ramen noodle things. I bought like a huge. I had my friend bring it to me because I can't go grocery shopping, right? So I was like, okay, just grab me like a huge family size thing of those cup ramens, and I swear I eat like 2 of those a day. Like, that's like my snack, not my meal. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't eat real food anymore.
Like, what's that?
Since I can't shop.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, this is good. Now,
I've
let me
been
tell you
making all
something.
kinds of good stuff. I've been making sushi. I've been making kebabs. I've been making all kinds of stuff. I need
I'm
to
coming to
raise.
your house.
Heck yeah.
Look, real quick. Here's
Cookout.
Here's a funny quip that just happened.
Yeah.
These kids nowadays, they don't have a sense of humor. I pull up to the drive-thru, and like a nice, yeah, you can hand it to her. Like a safe human being. He's wearing a mask, and and I say, hey man, how you doing? How are the experiments going? And he just looks at me. He goes, experiments? I said, yeah, you're wearing the mask. I said, got the test tubes in the back? I said, how the experiments going? He just did not laugh. I'm like, come on. Where's your sense of humor?
He's like, it really sucks, sir. I have to smell my own breath, and it's really hot and sweaty under here.
And I have to deal with you people till 4 a.m.
Smart ass mofos.
I hate my life.
Oh, at least he bagged up my fries before I asked how the experiments were going.
Yes, you never know.
Yeah.
Why is
The
this
monkeys took
frail?
off with them.
Huh?
The monkeys took off with them.
They flew to space. That's what happened.
Maybe in Australia.
No, the 2 that got away, they're the lucky ones. They got away from me.
Oh.
The earth these days. But it's been really good, with COVID and everything, as far as our environment coming back and like the wildlife is taking over. I remember for a while I was watching sunset in Denver because all the coyotes and such had relocated downtown, and they'd have this howl off where it just echoed. I bet they really like that. They're like, now we sound like we're much more than just 12. I swear, Bob, that one sounded like 63.
They're like, we just made the best invention ever. It's like a wilderness microphone,
They're like, this is almost as good as Red Rocks. I still have to go there. Red Rocks Amphitheater. Mother Nature's concert hall.
Yes, that would be so cool.
Beautiful. Pink Floyd and Red Rocks. That's my bucket list. Make it happen. I'm just kidding.
I saw the Pink Floyd laser light show on acid. It was pretty cool. It was in Phoenix. A long time ago, back in my crazy days. It was very fascinating, though.
Yeah, it's actually
It's like a whole Pink Floyd concert.
Right. And that would have been pretty cool. And they have those set up for, like, different stations, which are observatories and such. They'll do laser light shows in places like that just to make money to keep it running. Because, you know, the government doesn't believe in such things until it's really important. But, yeah, I was supposed to go to Phoenix to see Alanis Morissette on the 10th, but that ain't happening. And it's funny, they're like, we'll only refund tickets that aren't in the, basically, out on the grassy knoll, up on the grass, on the hill, behind all the, you know, metal chairs and such. I'm like, every ticket should...
Not refund the cheap seats.
No. It's like, why not? That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. I was supposed to see Garbage and In This Moment and all these different shows. I was supposed to go to a Vampire Masquerade ball. I still might do that in Portland. I think they switched it to July now. That should be interesting. Hopefully there's not any energy vampires there. Hopefully no real vampires there.
Yes. Energy or the like. But yeah, we were supposed to have our first Paradox Paranormal outing on the 20th and 21st. Not sure if that's still going to go. Depending on how things look, I might have to reschedule it for a later time. But yeah, it seems like the 20th of every month falls on a new moon, so it's dark enough to be able to see UFOs or whatnot. But damn it, Sleepy Dave, they're trying to ruin our plans. My night vision camera doesn't reach that far, really, anyways. What?
I thought I was just making a joke on myself. Shutting down your UFO party.
I know, bloody bastards. Even Robert was going to be there. Just kidding. But, you know, it's...
Can we take a field trip to Australia?
Yes, we should. We just need to raise the fundage.
I think there's still a 2-week wait for quarantine, though. So if you come down here, you got two weeks to wait, and then you can go wherever to. But if you are going to come down this way to visit me, land in Brisbane. Brisbane. Because the borders are still shut.
Yes. Well, this would be a hypothetical, but that would be so cool. I don't know. I've been watching too much of that 60 Minutes Australia lately where I'm like, ooh, I want to go there. Look at the beaches, you know.
I want to swim with the sharks. Not really.
Miles of beaches here.
Lots of beaches. Crazy beaches.
A lot of beaches, yeah.
Psycho beaches out of hell. Psycho beaches.
I've heard stories.
Just Robert and his beaches.
All his beaches. Robert's many beaches. Now my cheeks hurt. But yeah, we're
Which
almost...
one?
I know, right? I think I need a new pad for the seat. No, I was talking about my facial cheeks. I haven't been smiling a lot lately. I'm planting a lot of things and trying to be busy, but... point of irritation ahead.
I've been in a goofy mood all day, so ever since I got on the phone with you guys, my goofy mood started just like maybe a couple hours pre, and I'm still in it, and I have to mute myself a lot during this because I just can't stop laughing at the dumbest stuff. And I'm like, and I swear there is no THC in my system. I don't know why or anything else for that. Maybe that's the problem. Like, I've been completely like detoxed other than bad food, like no alcohol for over a month, which I don't drink like hardly at all anyway, but it's just like nothing.
Well, even our diets, you know, there's so much crap in there. I actually bought one of those Sleepy Time tea / detox. I haven't tried it yet, but
yes, I love that. I love that. That's my favorite kind. I'm drinking that right now. Not the detox kind, but the Sleepy Time kind.
It's a natural high, Rob says. I even have the super Sleepy Time tea. My daughter came out the other night. She's like, I can't sleep. Nothing's working. I'm like, try Sleepy Time tea. That doesn't work. I'm like, just fucking try it. There's nothing else I can give you. But, yeah, it's hard, sleep issues. I've been dealing with it, and it seems my schedule is wonky, but I think I've been getting more sleep than usual, but I'm not sure. It still doesn't feel like it. Still feels like I need more sleep. But it could just be the different phases going on, and I don't know. Who knows? Could be fighting depression. Hard to say. But yeah, there's
I
different
feel you,
things.
girl. I feel you.
Alignments, different things like that. Like, it makes you wonder, does this stuff really, you know, is it true?
It's a mood. I feel like people are all being forced to snap out of it, do their own interpersonal growth, grow, evolve in some way. I mean, if there's anything you can take out of this, it's that. But it's causing a lot of like forced things. It's causing you to face yourself, which is terrifying, you know, because you're stuck with who? Yourself.
I like myself.
And who like me too, but I can only handle myself in small doses. I already think enough as it is. Being forced to think and not being able to distract myself. I think that's mostly because my leg's broken. Like, I have to sit here and just think about stuff all day. Like, I can't even get up and go take a walk. I can't go take a like. Technically, I can drive, but I'm just like it's weird. It's freaking weird. Like, and I feel like the whole world is going through that type of same thing, you know, a little bit.
It's COVID, you know, out of all the members of our team that I was like, you better not get COVID because I don't want to lose you, but Jamie got COVID and she actually got through it, flying colors. She did really good, you know, according to what I was expecting something really bad to happen, but she came out and now she's back at work and, you know, flying colors, and I think she's still trying to stay away from her mom because she's afraid of infecting her because she does work in the medical field. She calls it a recycling vampire. She takes people's blood and recycles it and puts it back into their bodies. But yeah, she had COVID. And I wish we could like more members together to go do this ghost hunting stuff. But at the same time, I think the fewer the better, just to be safe. And we've been.
I like the small groups. When we've done investigations in the past, I've had some really fun experiences with smaller groups. And by small, I don't mean like 2 people. I mean like, let's say 3 to 6 people, you know, is usually like good for me, like between 3 and 6, somewhere in there. But I haven't really gone on an investigation with one other person, I don't think. So I mean 2 is fine, cool too, but not with our group, I don't think, if I recall. But I'm down. I'm crippled, but I'll go.
Heck yeah, I can keep up with you. That's all I care about.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
I think Vern always tries to outrun me in the store or something. Like, he's walking super fast, and I'm like, dude, like, your legs are only a couple inches taller than mine, but can you fucking slow down for a second? This is not a marathon race.
I'm a fast walker. I don't know if you noticed that, or I don't remember, but I'm a super fast walker. Like, I'm short, really short, but I have fast little legs.
Super speed, fast little legs. No, I was thinking about the first night we met. That's not when we were doing our full moon hunts. We didn't have outsiders with us, right? It was me and you, and I think Richard. Was that it? Me and you and Richard? Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Richard and... Was it just Richard?
I just keep thinking it was me and you and Richard.
The other time.
Yeah, that was awesome. We
Was
picked up.
it?
I think so.
Remember when the cops came?
Yes. It's always fun when the cops show
That
up.
was
'cause
funny.
if your adrenaline wasn't pumping before,
expects
now it
us-
is.
Well, and they expected us to be like drinking or something, and you had that briefcase with all the devices in it, all the equipment in it, and he's like, "What's in the briefcase?" He's like, "These are some drug dealers, right? Like your drug dealing briefcase."
You open it
Where's
up like a
Paranormal
Pulp
Nerd?
Fiction.
Like, yeah.
Golden Globe.
He's like, they seemed so relieved. He seemed so relieved. He's like, "Oh, cool."
Well, you know the park
Paranormal
closes
people.
at this time. Well, no, we do. Yeah, it was interesting, and we even walked
But
down
the
the
ghosts
train
don't
tracks.
sleep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, especially when. That one. I don't know. I don't know about you, but he made my stomach turn. Not because he was bad, but I think because of how inebriated he was when he drowned in the river, and
Yes.
I was picking up on that like nauseousness.
Yes. We both got dizzy. Mhm.
Yeah.
We both got you. I think you got more nauseous. I got extremely dizzy, and both of our heads were hurting in the same spot, kind of like up, like right above like the third eye kind of area. We both felt icky. I felt like hungover. Like I felt that feeling of just icky, like not like hungover feeling like physically, but I felt like that icky like energy from when you drink too much and then you feel like there's just your chi or your life force is low, and and he looked sick. If it was the same one that we saw behind the tree, which we kind of figured it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was him. But yeah, I don't know why he hide. Maybe he was ashamed or something. But did you whisper my name? I just heard my name whispered through the mic. That was really weird.
That was not me.
Wow, did not hear it.
You didn't? I have to listen to replay because
I heard something now.
You did?
I heard a whisper between that seconds ago.
No, yeah, I just heard something like, I don't know. It sounded like talking, kind of like a talk whisper.
Yep. Either the feds are listening in and have a time fucking with us, excuse my language, or it's a real phenomenon. Take your pick.
Phenomenon. Do 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 do.
Phenomenon.
Do do do.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon. Well, folks, that's the end of our show. But it really is. And I wanted to let you guys know, don't forget to come out on weekdays. I think it's Mondays now. Are you doing Mondays and Fridays, or just Fridays or Mondays, or what are you doing, Sleepy Dave? For the Time Slip Cafe.
Fridays right now, I'm trying to regulate schedules and figure out stuff, but I'd like to go on. I'm not getting up early enough, in my opinion. And by the time I do, it's just other things that have taken precedence. But that's why I did the mornings. That's when I had time. So, but I'll get back on rather hopefully Monday. I do have a birthday show coming up June 12th. It's my birthday show, Friday, June 12th.
Well, I just wanted to remind you guys, come check out SleepyDave Davenport on the Times Cafe on Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Mr. Kevin McDougall, Mr. Dale Elson, Mr. Jim Morris, Miss Mea Savage, and our musical host, Quest, a.k.a. Roy Washington, who is going to be on the show tomorrow night. I'm pretty excited to have him on. I've been on his show, but he hasn't been on mine, other than musically. But thank you to all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's Facebook, Spreaker, Twitter, iHeartRadio, and wherever else you may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. I had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do it again tomorrow night with Mr. Roy Washington, a.k.a. Quest. Super stoked to have him on. He's got some ghost stories to tell. I can't wait to hear them. He comes from Milwaukee, so I'm interested to hear about the different hauntings and the haunted place worked at there. But don't forget, you guys, we are all together. Together we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media. Because without you, there is no us. If you'd like to join the Skype after party, give us a call, 1-970-335-9596, and I'll call you back, just as I did Mr. Jason. Or you can look me at Tessa.N.Thomas30. Until next time, nighty-night, love and let you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday evening, aka Sunday morning, and I'll see you back here, same time, same place. Take care, my you.